Hey, listener and fellow fans, welcome to the Future Baseball Jams podcast, episode 4. My name is Angie Boltang, and I'm here with Eric D. and Chris Dominguez. I guess our first topic, just talk about the playoffs. Me personally, I haven't watched that many games, I haven't watched any games actually. I've just seen highlights off Twitter. There's a guy that wants working baseball. I haven't watched any of the games, which is kind of sad, but I guess I want to listen to what you, Eric, and what you, Chris, have to say about the playoffs. I know the Dodgers beat the Padres, and who else clinched? Astros beat the Athletics. So just want to hear
and
your thoughts on what's been going on and stuff. Like I don't know
and
who
the
wants to go first, but
the Braves clinched too.
and
They
then the
beat
Braves clinched,
yeah,
yeah. So
and
there's one
then
more series going on right now tonight, right?
yeah. So Game 5 is tonight at the time of recording this between the Rays and the Yankees.
Yeah,
So it'll this will probably go up, after that game's already over. So we won't know who won it, but
yeah,
I think we can still talk about that series because there's a lot to talk about from that series in particular.
yeah. I feel like Billy B not watching games live, so pretty good company to be in.
No, for
Yeah.
sure.
So who wants to go first? I guess I have to
Um,
listen
well,
to feedback off you guys. Yeah.
to start off really quick, I want to say one thing I heard personally, I heard on Twitter was, and I don't understand it at all, was for next season for the playoffs that Rob Manfred that they were thinking about not having this playoff structure anymore. I personally loved it. I know we talked about this previously, and I don't think Eric liked it, but I personally love it. I love it. I think it's a great idea. I love it personally, and I thought it's been really exciting. I thought the most exciting series so far was definitely that Dodgers and Padres series, even though it was a clean sweep, but it was definitely exciting and fun. Um, what do you think, Eric, about like this whole playoff structure and how it's gone so far?
Yeah, I have enjoyed most of the games so far. Yeah, I just think, this postseason will just be remembered as one that's like totally different because especially with like all these central teams got eliminated in like the very first round, which I thought was very interesting. Um, and I wonder like if you were gonna do this same format over the a full like 162 game season, I wonder how different things would be. Because like I mean the Astros like they completely like handled the Twins pretty much. And I mean, I know the Twins have that whole history of losing, and they made some mistakes to like for sure. They made some very pivotal mistakes at key moments that helped the Astros get ahead. But you know that's not to discredit the Astros. They didn't make those mistakes. So I think it's like is is the Central just like way weaker? I mean, it had the most playoff teams, but like maybe that just means it had like the most mediocre teams because it had so many get in and they all just spent time playing each other.
What are your thoughts about this playoff structure so far, and I guess some key series that you found interesting?
The playoff structure. I felt like I do. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I actually may agree with Rob Manfred. It's only because there's too many games going on, and as somebody that wants to try to grow the games, well, I'm not a commissioner, but somebody that believes that a game has so much potential and can rival basketball and football. I feel like these many games, like even though teams like more teams were in the playoffs and stuff like that, it was great and all. Like my Jays were in, but old structure, my Jays wouldn't have made it. Most likely, like in 162 games with less teams. But it's one of those things where it's like I don't know if we're attracting I would have to check in terms of viewership for the playoffs and stuff. I'm not sure what how to explain it. I'm not sure if we were attracting if they baseball was successful in attracting fans for this year's playoffs. I'm not sure. We have to look at the viewership when it comes out. I don't know if it's come out already, but
I
yeah,
haven't I haven't seen the viewership numbers, but I just have a feeling it's probably not very high at all. I mean, for
yeah,
one, they're not showing any games on the weekends.
Exactly.
which is like yeah, I mean you have the NFL, but like who cares? You know, there's still Saturday, um,
Yeah.
and I mean playoff games on Sundays typically get higher viewership than normal, even with the NFL. So,
Yeah.
and then the other thing is they're putting games on MLB Network. Like, why are you doing that? If you like, they're putting Tatis and Cody Bellinger, two of the most exciting, the most fun young players to watch. They're putting their games on MLB Network. Like, how are you gonna get? How are you gonna market your players by doing that? I just don't get it.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense to me either.
I really enjoyed it, just because I feel like more teams in the playoffs. I guess obviously more teams have a better chance of making it, and I think that will help with tanking, and more fans will be interested, and I like basketball does it, and I think basketball is okay. I think basketball is a little long, um, but I think baseball was good. It was good enough. Not every game was a 7 game series, so I did like that. Um, the only one thing also I didn't like, kind of like what Eric said and you said, games on MLB Network, that's not the greatest thing to do. And one thing I hated so much was that the Marlins, for example, every game they played was at 2 p.m. during the week.
Yep, the Yankees and the Dodgers get the prime time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did not like that at all because, people are working at that time, and no one's going to want to watch a game at 2 p.m., during the week. I mean, if it's on a Saturday or Sunday, sure, but, not during the week. And if it was like one game or two, okay, fine. But it was every game. It was every game, and that Cubs and Marlins series was a series that was really fun and exciting. The Marlins have a fun and exciting team. Maybe not against the Braves, but against the Cubs, it was fun. And I mean, these are things fans want to see. They want to see these young players, who have high personalities, and to not show the Cubs or the Marlins or the Braves and the Marlins with Acuna and all their young players, and the Marlins with all their young players, to not have one game at night, or at least mid afternoon or evening, is not right. So yeah, that part I did not like, and I think it also has to do with there's so many things going on right now. Basketball should not be in the finals at this point. That's supposed to be in the summer. Um, I mean, NFL is always around at this time, but I think the finals has been the biggest obstacle for MLB during this time. So
Yeah, I saw that there was something like there was a proposal to um make it like 7 teams per league next year, and like you get a first round bye or something. And there's like pick your opponent. So I was wondering, did you guys see that, and like what did you think about that?
I did not see that personally. I did not see that. Yeah, I didn't see that, but yeah, I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that because I feel like that may cause problems. You know, I don't know.
Yeah,
That
like
sounds
I could
interesting.
see that screwing up pitcher routines. I think picking your opponent is kind of cool. Um, because like you could avoid maybe a team gets like really hot and sneaks into the playoffs as like the last seed, and maybe as the number 1 seed you want to avoid them. Um, if they're like looking really hot, maybe you'll take a team that was like they used to be higher seeded, but then they like played really badly in September and dropped or something. So I could see there being some interesting strategy there, and there could be like some fun rivalries as well.
Sorry to interject, but like Pujos's Cardinals, if you guys remember those years back in 2011 when they got in the playoffs the last day of the season, I wouldn't have wanted to
Yep.
play them. I wouldn't have wanted to play them at all. And then the year they finished, I believe, was it 82 and 80? Yeah, 82 and 80. I don't remember what year, maybe 2006. But yeah, that year too, where they were like a lower seed, but they ended up winning the World Series. So,
Or a lot of those Giants teams would get hot in September
yeah,
and get in as the wild card, and then they win the World Series.
yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's a tough situation because, like, what if the Yankees, for example, would have chosen the Blue Jays and they would have lost to the Blue Jays in the first round? That would have caused a lot of problems. You know, I mean, yeah, you could say, well, if they lose to the Blue Jays, maybe they didn't deserve to continue, but teams get hot all of a sudden. You know what I mean? I mean, are the Marlins better than the Cubs? Absolutely not. But they lost them anyways, and but I felt like, if the Dodgers would have chosen to play the Marlins, and they would have played the Marlins, and then if the Marlins would have won, man, that would have caused a lot of anger. So so I don't know. It's interesting, but that's like I think it's like a 50-50 debate. I feel like half people won't like it, half people will. So
Well, they're gonna expand the playoffs. I feel it's inevitable because that's where they make the most money. The owners want to expand the playoffs. The players probably want to expand the playoffs. I think it's gonna happen. It's just I hope that the format is not too like. I hope it doesn't like completely nullify the point of playing 162 games. But that's just me.
I like it. I like it. I just think it makes, like the reason why I was so excited for this season was because I was like, man, with expanded playoffs, even though the Marlins in reality aren't that good, we have a chance. Anyone has a chance to make it now. There's so many teams playing at the playoffs, they have a chance. All we have to do is get hot, you know what I mean? And that's what made me really interested in this season to watching the Marlins was because I felt I was like, well, you know what? A lot more teams in the playoffs now might have a chance. So,
That
and
was me as a Rangers fan for about 2 weeks. And then Fernando Tatis put them in the grave.
no, for sure. But
Dude, they were above 500 at the time of that Grand Slam, and then they got swept, and now they're like the worst team. But anyway, that's beside the point.
no, one thing I want to talk about. So obviously we're continuing with the playoffs. Um, what was your? I know we couldn't record then, but what was your prediction from the beginning? Like your World Series prediction for the beginning?
Mine was the Rays and the Dodgers, and I actually kept that prediction from like before like spring training, pretty much. I predicted the Rays and the Dodgers, so I'm sticking with that.
What about you, Andrew?
I believe I had I would have to check, but I believe I had the Dodgers, and I believe the Astros. Believe it or not, I had the Astros. Like I felt like they have a bunch of alphas on that team. I hate to say it, but a bunch of guys that they haven't handled the whole. They haven't handled what they went through well. Like they haven't handled the whole. What's the word I'm looking for, guys? It's not coming to that. I know that I need to sleep.
The banging scheme, as Rob
Yeah,
Manfred
yes,
called
yes.
it.
Trash can scheme. Yes. So it's one of those things where it's like I felt like they would do well. I felt like they would really do well. Like they didn't need that to perform. That's like Ryan Braun. I hate to bring him up, but like he didn't need steroids to perform. He didn't need steroids to perform. He just did it, and maybe like gave him like a bit of an advantage. But I didn't really think the Astros trash can scheme had like sure like they had an effect on their play and stuff. But they didn't need that to be a great team. They have so much talent. Have you seen that team? Have you guys seen that team? Alex Bregman, George Springer, Justin Verlander. But I want to get to my fingers. So far, I've named 3 guys. Zach Greinke, Carlos Correa, Yuli Gurriel. That's 6 guys. I can go on forever. Who else am I thinking of?
Michael Brantley, Kyle
Mike
Tucker,
Mr. Hits. Yeah, Mr. Hits Brantley. Yeah.
Jose Urquidy.
Kyle Tucker, Forrest Whitley. Oh, gosh.
There, Yordan Alvarez, who was Rookie of the Year.
You see what I mean?
And he's injured.
Oh, my
and
voice.
so is Verlander.
See what I mean? Yeah. So and then the Dodgers, what's there to say? They have argued the best GM in baseball, and Andrew Friedman. Shout out to Andrew. My name's Andrew. Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like I felt like it would be a repeat of 2017's World Series, and maybe I don't think I picked the winner, but I might have gone with Astros to win it all. So I might have gone. Like if you were to put a gun to me, I probably would have gone with Astros. Saying because the Dodgers under Friedman, nobody wants to trade with Friedman because like I feel like he's so good at what he does that you feel like if he offers you a player, you don't want to acquire him. Like you can't like you feel like oh like he's probably giving me garbage, so like I don't want to trade with him. And I feel like Jeff Luna or James Click now they're the kind of team that so much assets, and when they do trade with people, they want to make the trade even for both sides. I remember they even talked about that. There was an article on Houston Chronicle about that, the art of consolidation. So yeah, I mean, that's what I'll say about that.
Interesting.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
going more into the Astros thing, um, I think what made so many people mad was that, they had so much talent. It's like, why do they need to cheat?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I do kind of think this might be a hot take, but I do kind of think it's Andrew, you probably won't know this, but I think Chris, you'll know this. Do you remember a bounty gate in the NFL?
Hmm.
So bounty gate was a thing where the Saints were offering like a um they were basically offering like rewards for like going out of their for like their guys going out of their way to like hurt the other guys and like hit them as hard as possible, pretty
The
much.
same, right?
Yeah, the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah. I
Um,
agree with that. Yeah.
and it was sort of a thing that was like rampant all around the NFL, but the Saints were the first team that were caught doing it, so they got hit really hard with penalties and stuff. And it's basically a warning to other teams, like, okay, kind of stop that. And I think that's kind of the same with what happened with the Astros. Like, I feel like every team probably had some sort of system in place. I don't know, it probably wasn't as egregious as what Houston was doing, with a live feed camera bang on a trash can. I don't think every team was bang on a trash can or anything. But I definitely think that, that's maybe, I would definitely see it being a probability that many teams were doing something similar.
Yeah.
Um, and I think the people who are saying it's like, oh, the Astros, like they'll pull up their, I don't know if you guys have seen that where it's like their batting average this year compared to the last 3 years. It's like that's kind of silly. The people who say like, oh, they definitely are bad without the trash cans, like, no, you're just wrong. They're definitely very good, uh, even without that. And ironically, their main problem this year was the pitching.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Verlander,
and
Thompson.
all the injuries that they had. But yeah, I've been saying it. Don't sleep on the Astros. I I mean, they made their fourth straight ALCS. I honestly thought that this was time for Oakland to finally get past the first round. And I mean, I guess technically they didn't get past the first round. They just couldn't get past the ALDS.
Yeah, going back to the Astros, I thought they were good this year still. I mean, I didn't think the whole trash can thing was their main reason for being good. They're a good team. They have so much talent on that team, and um, my prediction from the start was the Padres and Astros. Unfortunately, the Padres are gone, but either that or it was going to be the Astros and Dodgers. But I thought, man, I thought the Padres were gonna come away with it, man. I
I
thought they
thought,
were
uh,
I thought they were an exciting young team, and I thought they were gonna really fight and shock everybody. And I mean, I was really excited about that team from the start. That team from the start looked great. But unfortunately, the Dodgers are just so freaking good. They have everything. And yeah, the Dodgers are probably gonna win. That's you know, I'm gonna cheat and just say I never said the Padres, and I'm gonna just say the Dodgers are gonna win. You know, but yeah, and I know for years I've told almost everybody I know and Andrew that the Rays were gonna be extremely good. said a few years, give them a couple years because they have prospects freaking galore, and finally they've pieced it together and they look phenomenal. You know, I would have loved to see them make it, and I would have loved to see them win. They're kind of the team I'm rooting for right now because the Padres are out. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. I love that Rays team. I love everything the Rays do. I love their front office. I love their coaching staff, and um, I'm excited. This year has been really fun. Honestly, I've really enjoyed it, and the playoffs have been good. It was a fun ride for the Marlins. It was fun while it lasted. Unfortunately, the Braves are way better than us, and for some reason we kept playing Matt Joyce every game. But it's okay. Next year I think it's gonna be an exciting time to be a Marlins fan, and I think next year is also gonna be another year of trials for baseball. I think it's gonna it's gonna be an interesting year. But I'm very excited for whatever happens in these playoffs, and it's good to see Giancarlo really piece it together in the playoffs. I don't know if you guys remember, but I think it was the last playoffs he played. He really struggled, and a lot of people were giving up on him. So it's good to see that he's really piecing it together. And I love, man, I still can't pronounce his last name, Randy from the Rays.
Arena.
Yeah, Randy. Jeez, I'm Hispanic. I can't pronounce his last name. But but yeah, but I remember I was telling Andrew that years ago I loved Randy. I thought he was great. I wanted the Marlins to go out and get him, and I feel like the Cardinals were really holding him back for a while. I feel like he was ready for a good minute, and they kept holding him back. And when he went to the Rays, I said, of course he went to the Rays. Every time I love a freaking player, he goes to the Rays, and I think he's pieced it together, and I think he's legit. I don't think he's an MVP guy. I don't think he'll win MVP, but I think he'll be a really good, valuable player for that team for probably the next, who knows how many years. So, what are your opinions about Randy?
I thought he was a solid player. Like I didn't see what you saw, to be honest with you, but yeah, definitely for everything that I've heard and seen, like highlights and just game scores and stuff, like he's been great. He's been really great.
Yeah, I honestly I didn't really know much about him before the Rays traded for him. I just kind of knew his name and knew that he had was an outfielder for the Cardinals, and I thought it was very weird because the Rays already had a ton of outfielders, and they traded Matthew Liberatore, who's like one of my favorite prospects. And I still am not sure how I feel about the Liberatore move, but I mean, so far, Arozarena has been a big pickup for them. I mean, he's been their hottest hitter so far in the postseason, which is no understatement considering the bats that they have on that team. The thing I like about the Rays is like they don't really have like that big star. I mean, I guess you can kind of say Blake Snow maybe, but like they don't have like the one big star. They're just all around just very solid. Um, and in fact, like speaking on that, Yankees Rays series, I know um, the Yankees took a lot of criticism for like doing like the opener. I don't know if you guys saw that when Davey Garcia he went one inning, and then they brought in Jay Happ. Do you guys have any thoughts on that? Do you think it's sort of like the reason we see like some teams are able to pull it off more than others? Do you think it's like a communication thing between like front office and players, or do you think it's like they communicated really well and get the players on board, or do you think it's just more about the execution of it?
So personally, I love the opener. If you need to do it, I love it. Just because for some reason there are guys whose numbers are better starting than relieving. For some reason, maybe it's just a comfortability thing. I mean, like I remember I said it in one podcast. It was or in one episode. Stanek, the Marlins, that his numbers opening compared to relieving are crazy different. They're not even close. His numbers starting are way better than relieving. But it's not even that. It's I remember reading it in a book. I forgot where I read it or what the numbers were exactly, but it's pretty much common sense that the more you see a pitcher in a game, like the more comfortable the batter gets, and like the pitchers do worse. Obviously, the later the game gets, the more they get seen. And the openers. I mean, I would have liked to see an opener, and maybe instead of going one inning, really they should be going like two, face 6 batters hopefully, or if they face the whole lineup, because then they see him, and then here comes the starter who should be good for another 4 innings. And if you look at it, I think the numbers show that that's actually more efficient to do that because, like I said, it's a different pitcher, different eye, and to have that switch, I think two totally different pitchers, Garcia and coming out with J Happ, I think I mean it's harder than it seems to to hit pitchers like that out of nowhere that who are two totally different pitchers. And one thing I would like to see though is you throw out Garcia and then like I don't know, did everyone know J Happ was gonna come out, or was it like it's a surprise J Happ is out?
I mean, I think the Yankees probably knew. I don't think that they announced anything that he was going to be
Okay,
pitching
okay,
before the game, though.
okay. So
But
so that's my point. It's like the Rays probably, or whoever it was, they, because I didn't see that game, but you know, they probably prepared for Garcia, and then out of nowhere, here comes J Happ, and it causes problems. And I love the opener. I know the Rays were doing it for a while,
they were
and
kind of the front runners, I think. And then every
yeah,
team's kind of started taking their strat.
yeah. At one point, if I remember correctly, at one point, I think it was last season, the Rays only had like 3 starters, but they kept going with openers, and the starters would really only go like 4 or 5 innings. So that was interesting. I love it. I think it's great, and I think it works. So that's my opinion about it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's going to be hiccups sometimes. The
No,
Rays,
of course.
the Rays didn't go 162-0 like with the opener.
Mhm.
Like I think the White Sox did that in their series against Oakland, where they had Dane Dunning go 1 inning, and then they brought in Garrett Crochet, and then Crochet ended up getting hurt. So it's like like that's something that can really throw a wrench in your plans. But like overall, I think it's a really good strategy. Like I think it's better to like use your pitchers um, like matchup based versus like innings based. Like the whole idea, it's like, oh, you need your starter to go 6 innings, so and you give it over to the setup man who gives it over to the closer. It's like that's kind of like that's really outdated. It's like you want your best pitcher in the best situation for him.
I agree. Maximize your pitcher's their abilities. For sure. Did you guys see what happened the other night with the Padres and Dodgers when Cody Bellinger just home run robbing catch?
Yes. Yeah.
That bro, I didn't watch the game live, but I laughed. Like first of all, I couldn't see. I couldn't believe what Cody Bellinger did. But did you guys see what Bruce Gratterall did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I laughed. I laughed. Took his hat, just like flicked it. Looked like he was like a pizza boy or something like that. Handing pizza dough to like his. Man, I laughed.
No, that series was amazing. I love the energy, man. I
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, we talked about this in one episode. I love when the players are, doing bat flips, and the pitchers are emotional, and I love that stuff. I think it's good for the game.
it's
So
great.
I think baseball is like the only sport that people get mad at it, and I think it's really dumb. So I love it, man. I mean, freaking NFL players dance
Well,
on the end zone, and
Manny Machado got mad at it, but that's another discussion.
yeah, I mean, it's whatever. I'm not gonna defend him. I mean, he threw his bat like 40 feet, and I loved it. But then he got mad at,
Yeah.
at the other team. You know, whatever.
Hey,
it-
when you're competing, your emotions run high.
no, exactly. You know, that's the thing. You know, his emotions were probably high, and it's just he just wants to talk.
It's just baseball.
So yeah, no,
As long as he doesn't step on anyone again, I'm okay.
no, for sure, But I don't know, I love it, man. I hope I hope we continue to see that type of energy in baseball. So.
Yeah, everyone, thank you for tuning in, and enjoy watching the playoffs. And we'll see you in a couple weeks.
More bat flips.
Yes. Bye.
See you guys.